Welcome, YouTubers. This is GreatDanePicks.com, Libby's Picks, Session 2 of the MLB 2016. Let me go ahead and, this is the overall chart for the year, and we're in the second session. Let me go ahead and zoom this in, just so it's a little more viewable on your screen. So when we ended the first session, we were here with this red arrow. Libby's picks straight up have been in this sort of light blue. And she had popped up in the first week to up over, I call it 30% ROI, or grew a 20,000 bankroll to 26,000 or $6,000 profit on a 20,000 bankroll. So she had gone up over 30% in the first week, just to summarize here, and then she went into a nosedive and then came back to 32 and a nosedive and came back and ended up at 30 here. I play sort of a freeze system where if I get over 10%, in the sort of on a per session basis, so I hit 17% in the first few days there, or actually the first day, and so I froze it, and so that's where you see this dark blue line. That's what the one I usually recommend playing, or at least conservatively. So I ended the session at 17% the first session, and she had done 30% overall, so she did better than the freeze. But there's a whole roller coaster going in there, and you're never guaranteed, but sometimes she does better and sometimes she does worse. So here's where we started the second session earlier this month. Each one of these, is a week roughly. The vertical lines and the horizontal lines are, of course, $2,000 or 10% of bankroll. So the first couple days we went from that here, we almost lost all our money and ended up on a trough there, and then she came back. And she was still just under, I was aiming for the 20% for the second session here, so we were just under 20%. And we went down a little bit, we went back up, again just under 20, and then we had a great day. And almost hit 40%, just under at 39%. And that's where I froze, because I made more than 20%. And that's where I froze it for the rest of the session, so I ended up with 39% ROI, or just a touch under $28,000. Or $8,000 profit. But as it turned out, she kept on a tear here, and over the next couple days, she nearly hit 70% ROI for the season, which would be a good get-out point. 70% is the goal for the whole season, so if you'd stuck with her and done that, then you could have been out here at $34,000, $14,000 profit pretty quickly. So if you were lucky enough to get out there, so be it. But her picks went down and up, and eventually she peaked up here, sort of in the 90%. She got up over 90 percentile, which is just extraordinary. So she's been on a tear in the second session, well above averages and making tremendous percentages and profits. But then she had a backslide, and that happens. Here she went, I think, 1 for 5 that day, and then kind of broke even. And then when she went 0 for 5 again, and lost a couple more the next couple days, so she almost dropped that 10 grand back from 38 to 28, and was roughly at the same place that I was frozen. So no net value. It's tough to play those days and lose that much money. But she did come back and peaked up here, and then basically she ended the session on the 28th yesterday at 55% for the season, and she had growth this session. 22 sessions in a row where she had good growth, 30% and roughly 25% there. And on the frozen side, you went from 17% and roughly another 22%, but 39%. Kind of leaves me in a dilemma for the third session here, which is going to start today, the 29th, in that, my goal for the session would be to get to 30%. Well, I'm at 39% right now, so I could theoretically not play it. It's a tough choice. I don't know if she's going to come back to earth with some of her picks and get more of a flat line and continue to lose, or what's going to happen, but we'll see. That's part of the fun of gambling. Maybe if I get up above like 45% or something like that, make a meager 6% on this session, I'll freeze out. But anyways, that's where we are for the season so far, so doing great. Nearly got, over half my expected 70%. 70 or 90% or something like that. I'd be pretty happy with getting that over the summer for a return on investment for every $20,000 of bankroll or $2,000 bankroll. You can just scale that accordingly to to whatever you play at. But yeah, visit us at www.greatdanepicks.com for information on how to get involved. All right. Thank you very much.